Hello. Are you ready for today's story? It's called Lazy Jack. Once there was a boy named Jack who lived with his mother in a little house. They were very poor, and Jack's mother had to work from morning to night to earn enough money to live. Jack didn't seem to care how hard his mother worked. He just sat in the sun or curled up in front of the fire. No matter what his mother asked him to do, Lazy Jack just sat dreaming. One day, his mother could stand it no longer. She went outside to find him. "Get up, you lazy bones," she said. "I'll not have you lying around here doing nothing. If you don't go and get a job, not another scrap of food will you get from me." Jack was wide awake now. No food? That was terrible. Well, the only thing to do was to go out and find some work. Off he went to see a farmer. He knocked on the door and asked if there was any work for him to do. "Well," said the farmer, "there is the field to be ploughed. If you do that, I'll give you a gold coin." Jack worked hard ploughing the field until the job was done. The farmer was pleased and gave Jack a gold coin. Jack stared at it. As this was the first work he had ever done, he'd never had any money of his own before. He set off for home, holding the gold coin in his hand. Now, on the way home, Jack had to cross a stream. As he walked over the stepping stones, he slipped and almost fell. The gold coin dropped into the deep water. Sadly, Jack went home and told his mother. "You silly boy," she said. "You should have put the coin in your pocket to bring it home." "Oh," said Jack, "I'll remember that next time." Next day, Jack went out again to look for work. He went to see the cowman, who said he would give him a jug of milk if he milked the cows. Jack worked hard, and when the work was done, the cowman gave him a jug of milk. Jack wasn't going to lose the milk, as he'd lost his gold coin, so he put the milk in his pocket. As he walked, the milk splashed out of the jug and spilled onto the road. By the time he got home, there was no milk left, and his mother was very, very angry with him. "You silly boy," she said. "You should have carried it home on your head." "Oh," said Jack, "I'll remember that next time." The next day, Jack went out again. He hired himself to another farmer who said, "If you chop some firewood for me, I'll give you some butter." Jack took the big axe and chopped until there was a huge pile of firewood. Jack got his butter and, remembering his mother's words, put it on his head and set off home. Now, it was a warm, sunny day, and soon the butter began to melt. Jack looked a terrible mess. His mother threw up her hands in horror. "Oh, Jack, will you never learn?" she cried. "You should have carried it home in your hands." "Oh," said Jack, "I'll remember that next time." The next day, Jack met a baker who needed help. The baker wasn't rich and could only give Jack a cat. At the end of the day, the baker gave the cat to Jack. He walked home carrying it in his hands. But the cat struggled and scratched, so Jack had to let it go. Very sadly, he went home. "Jack, you silly boy," said his mother. "You should have tied a little piece of string round its neck and walked it home." "Oh," said Jack. "I'll remember that next time." The next day, Jack worked for a butcher. All day he made sausages, and the butcher gave him a shoulder of mutton. Jack was delighted. He tied a piece of string to one end of the mutton and dragged it home. But the village dogs smelled the mutton and bit at it with their sharp teeth. Jack was left with the bone. His mother was very cross. "Oh, Jack, you really are the silliest boy ever. You should have carried the mutton on your shoulders, not dragged it home." Poor Jack. He didn't seem to be able to do anything right. Next day, he met a man who kept sheep and asked him if he needed any help. "Yes," said the man. "If you look after my flock of sheep, I'll give you a donkey." At the end of the day, Jack went to the man and was given the donkey. He thought and thought and thought about how he should take the donkey home. Then Jack remembered what his mother had told him. He pushed and heaved until he got the donkey up onto his shoulders. Now, in that part of the country, there lived a rich man who had a very beautiful daughter. The rich man was very rich, but he was unhappy because his daughter never laughed. The rich man loved his daughter and wanted her to be happy, so he'd promised that the man who could make her laugh could marry her. As Jack was trudging slowly home with the struggling donkey, he passed the rich man's castle. The sad daughter was looking out of her window when she saw Jack with the donkey on his shoulders. She began to laugh and laugh. Tears poured down her cheeks. Her father came running to see what had made her so happy. It was Jack and the donkey. Never had the rich man seen anything so funny. Down the stairs he brought his daughter. Happily, he offered Jack his daughter's hand in marriage. So it happened that lazy Jack married the rich man's daughter and went to live in the beautiful castle. And Jack and his mother never had to worry about money ever again. I hope you liked that story, and I shall look forward to reading you another one, another time. So until then, goodbye.